Right, in AutoCAD, usual background, you'll get model layout tabs or whatever. If you can't see these tabs, just type OP, enter for options, and then under the display tab, make sure display layout and model tab is ticked. Don't have those two ticked. Under user preferences as well, just enable this right click customization and set all these to the top. If you're already CAD familiar and you have a profile, just load it in here. Either way, just draw a circle, so C and enter, or C right click, because it's the same as pressing enter. Left click to start your circle and move your mouse around, you'll see what happens. If I'm going too fast for you, just pause the video. Type 1000, press enter. That's great. If you want to zoom around, just scroll wheel out and in. Hold your scroll wheel down to pan and double click your scroll wheel to zoom extents. That's not having it on here. You could type ZE enter, Z enter, E enter to get your extents. That's the old school way of doing it, but just double click your scroll wheel otherwise. I'll just make sure we're still recording. Yep. That's our model, that's our drawing finished. Let's set up a layout. Just click on your layout tab. Delete the rectangle that's already there, that's useless. Type REC, rec, and then press enter. Left click to start and type at 297,210, enter. And that's an A4 sheet of paper, millimeter perfect. Type O enter, 10 enter. Left click on your border, and I'm moving inwards, and just left click inside, press escape. Click on your outer border, press delete. We don't want to print along the very outside edge of the paper, there's no need. We're going to draw a line 10mm up and then put a bit of a title box in. L enter. Just it should detect the endpoints of your lines. If it doesn't, just control right click, choose endpoint, and then click, and then just move straight up. Now it should snap to the vertical axis here. If yours doesn't, press F8 or F10 and it will. Once it's snapping along this vertical axis, just type 10 enter and it's gone up 10mm. Right, I've just been interrupted, so just carrying on. You've got a line 10mm up. Just drag across to the right. It should snap horizontally similarly. We want it to snap to this line. Just do control right click. This time we'll choose perpendicular, and it'll snap to 90 degrees. So just left click whenever that icon comes up and you'll be okay. Press escape. O enter, 10 enter, and we'll just offset that up. So click up, that's all I'm doing. And then we'll put some text in. MT, multi-text. Just click here, click down, put a box in. Just type title and press OK, or click off it somewhere. This looks ridiculous, so we're going to move it. M enter. Select your text, press enter. Just click anywhere and drag down and put that there. The font looks horrible, so type style, press enter, and then just change that to Arial or something good. Press apply, close. We're now going to copy this. CO, enter, because C is for circle. Left click that once, press enter. Click that endpoint, that endpoint, and that endpoint. What the hell? If you wanted to edit these, just double click them and they should edit. We're now going to do a viewport. So imagine we've got the model here, what we've drawn, that's our 1:1 size circle, and the layout, that's our 1:1 size A4 sheet of paper. Just type M and V. We're going to make a viewport. If you remember that as a setup, MV, press enter, and just click here, snap to the endpoint, click here. That'll give us a window, if you like, through to the model space. We're in what's called paper space, and that's model space. Just double left click in there and you'll be able to hold your mouse scroll wheel down and zoom in and out and all that kind of stuff. We're going to set it to a definite scale, and there's a little drop down menu here. Just click that. There are several scales available. Let's try 1:1. Right, so 1:1, no chance. On A4 the sheet of paper is nowhere near big enough. Let's try 1:10. Oh, that's not bad, we're getting there. And then let's try, what else have we got? 1:20. That's perfect. So that shape a circle with a 1 metre radius or a 2 metre diameter fits really well at 1 to 20 on A4. If you wanted it bigger, draw a bigger sheet than A4, draw A3 or A2 or A1. Now that's fixed, just left click outside here and that's a fixed scale. The only thing left to do really is you know, dimension it and put company logos on. If you want to put a logo on, just type IM for image, and then up here just click this attach image, and then you know, find where you've got an image and then just bring it into your drawing. Alright, back into model, we'll do some dimensions. I'll just type ribbon to get this ribbon back. I'd never use it. To get rid of ribbon, just hold down Control and 0. But there you go. Annotate, and then where you've got this expansion, you can do that. Another way to do it is just type, which I tend to do, is just type dim style, and then this comes up, which is great. Set new. We'll call it 1 to 20. I'll just call it 20. I'm going to tick annotative, and I'll explain that in a second what that means. Click continue. And there we've got annotative. The text height's fine, 2.5. You rarely have to change any of this. I'm going to change that to 1 millimeter for the little gap between where the line is and the dimension line. That's it. Primary units, I'm going to set to whole units. I don't want fractions of a millimeter. If you're doing an engineering drawing or something, you might want that. I'll use decimal degrees, that's fine. I could use degrees, minutes and seconds. And my decimal separator, if I was using it, I'd use a period, a full stop. Let's just OK that. Set current, that's fine. OK. Now, on your dimension tool, you could click this and use aligned, angular. Let's just click radius. And then I'm going to, it says, this is the first time you're doing any dimensions that are annotative. What scale are you using back in paper? Well, we know we've set this to 1 to 20, so we'll set this to 1 to 20. Press OK. Select your circle, and that's putting a dimension on. I'm moving around up and down, but I'll left click. I could do it outside or inside. I'll left click. That's the dimension finished. I'll just zoom in again. Let's say we had a line that we wanted to dimension. I'll do L enter, click here and just drag. I don't know what length that line is, but even so, click that drop down linear. I'll tick that one. It's telling us it's that distance. Let's draw a line on a slope. Click there and click there. We'll do, if I did linear now, it would only do the X and Y dimensions, right? I want to click aligned for it to be in line, the sloping one. Let's just jump back to layout 1. Alright, I need to double click in here and just pan down. Don't zoom, pan. If you screw the zoom up again, just change that, drop down to 1 to 20 and lock it. Now the reason we've chosen annotative dimensions is, if we wanted to choose a different scale, if I double click in here, I change that set to 1 to 30, those dimension sizes changed. They're annotative, it's interactive. So I'll change it to 1 to 20 again, but just watch that font size, that text height. So I'll change 1 to 20, and it's dropped. It dropped and then zoomed in, so it's the same height overall, which is exactly what you want. They want to print at 2.5 millimeters high. I'll double click in, well, click in model again. There's another thing that CAD does really well called layers. For instance, now, if you just click in, I usually type LA, short for layer. Where you've got a new layer tool, just click new and just type dims for dimension. Set its colour to red. Use one of these index colours. Those will print in that colour. These will print in black, but they'll the colour is used to set its thickness a lot of the times, the line thickness. So we'll just set that as dims and just close that box. And what we'll do is just left click on your dimensions, and then in here where you've got 0, just drop down and click dims. That'll put them all on another layer. And the benefit of that layer is you can then, if you like, freeze that layer, and that means they all disappear. They're still there, they're just hidden from view, but that's incredibly helpful when you've got a really busy drawing. Imagine a construction drawing full of gas and electric and services and all sorts of things going on. It's great to be able to freeze layers. It's also another way for CAD people to talk to each other. If you get a drawing from another company and you haven't got a clue what something is, click on it, and then it'll tell you, alright, it's the dimension, you know, that kind of thing. Obviously in this case we know it's a dimension, but it might help. So do all your dimensioning and your modelling and all this stuff in here, 1-to-1 size. CAD is an infinite size sheet of paper, so you can never outdo it. And do all your presentation stuff, your title box, logos and everything in here. Set it to scale, ideally before you put dimensions on. And that really is it. Other commands that you just have a look around YouTube, but it's all usually straightforward. Like I say, Control-0 gets rid of that. There's no real need to draw lines to keep clicking up here every 2 minutes. Just do L-enter. Keep your left hand on your keyboard and your right hand on your mouse, and that's pretty much it. So the finished drawing, as far as I'm going to take it, is that. Plotting is something else. Just type plot and to choose which printer you're going to use. You know, chances are I've got several options in here. Paper size. What to plot? I'm going to choose window. Click that endpoint and that endpoint, and then centre the plot. You should see on here it fits nicely. Make sure it's set 1-to-1 because we want to print a definite scale. I'll preview that. I'm using an educational version, so it's got that all over it. But I'm just going to press right click. You choose plot. I'm going to choose exit. And then if you did plot it and you had a scale ruler and you measured at 1-to-20, you'd notice that measured exactly 1950 1-to-20. Yeah, there you go. So I hope that's been some help.